Hey guys, real quick, because I showed up late, the movie's already started. Tonight's movies are going to be Twister and Lost Boys. So I'll be back in just a few seconds and let you know what I think about Twister. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Alright, so, hey guys, I just got done watching the movie, Twister, and I know you guys are waiting for me to trash this movie, and I do. I have a little smack talk for kind of queued up for this movie, but before that, let's go ahead and discuss the plot of it. We have a ragtag team of scientists whose main goal throughout the whole movie is to put up these small little sensors, put it into the funnel cloud of a tornado so that they can get more accurate readings, so they can predict and understand the tornado better. Pretty solid plot, but they have to invent ways to keep the plot moving. It just seemed like this movie had two separate antagonists. First off, we have this guy, he was the main character in Princess Bride, right over there, who kind of like was the head of another team, better finance team, but kind of like set up to be the evil team because he had corporate sponsorship. Like that's a bad thing. And so they had competition to see who could get better readings off this tornado, who could get there faster, who could predict it better. We had Bill Paxton. We also had Helen Hunt. They were a part of the good team. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Helen Hunt, pretty attractive young lady. And we have Bill Paxton, who back in the day, R.I.P. Bill Paxton, you know, he wasn't the greatest actor in the world, but he was an awfully fun actor. And I enjoyed all the roles he's been in, and this is no exclusion. I actually enjoyed him in this role. I thought he was cool. It just broke down in kind of the plot. So as I was saying, we had this separate team that was competing against our heroes, and then it just seemed like it switched over from that to just a tornado, making the tornado the antagonist. And it seemed like the tornado, the weather itself, was making intelligent decisions to further along the plot. And it just reminded me of how stupid was Jaws Revenge, where the shark follows our heroes from like one island to across the globe to another island, as if it was intelligent and as if it was targeting this specific family. And it just seemed like the tornado was doing the exact same thing. It just showed up at the exact same time. It just showed up at the exact right time to present that danger to. And it just seemed like it was aiming towards us. There was even a scene where they found themselves on a little downtime at a drive-in, and they were, drinking coffee and having camaraderie. And it seems like the tornado purposely showed up there to antagonize our heroes. Okay, so that was my really big thing that I had wrong with this movie. Was it just seemed like it was very formulaic. It just, everything that happened in the plot had a purpose in that plot. And it just seemed to be timed too perfectly to be like kind of an organic story. It was definitely very orchestrated, and it just felt very fabricated. And I had a hard time believing that this could actually be, a real team of scientists, and that they actually accomplished what they did by the end of the movie just out of sheer luck. It just seemed way too convenient. Here's the surprises about this movie. This is what I liked about the movie. I did like some of the special effects in the movie. There were scenes where cows are floating through the sky. Again, it didn't work with me all that well. It was very visually appealing to look at, but we have Bill Paxton pouring around the rig in the back of his truck while a cow is floating by them, as if gravity for the cow was different from for the gravity of Bill Paxton. Again, it didn't work physically for me, but it did work visually for me. I enjoyed those special effects. I enjoyed the twister. I enjoyed the storm effects that they had for this movie. I enjoyed the visuals of this movie. It was really fun as far as just turning off my brain and then watching the movie. As long as you watch this movie with no expectations and no expectations of plot or believability, then you're fine. You're going to enjoy this movie. Surprise number 2, I hadn't seen this movie in a while, so I forgot who was in it. Philip Seymour Hoffman plays a great character in this movie. He just didn't get enough screen time. I enjoyed his character quite a bit. He, of course, in fact, he plays the most believable part of this movie, and he's the most over-the-top and exaggerated character in this movie, but I still enjoyed that character, and I thought that was the only portion of that of the movie that I really dug and kind of got into and kind of believed. And the final thing that I found really surprising was when I was watching the credits on the movie. Did you guys know that this was kind of like, it was co-authored by Michael Crichton himself? Not only that, but he produced the movie, and a secondary producer of this movie was Steven Spielberg. So there's a lot of big guns behind this movie, and I am a huge fan of Michael Crichton, so I kind of give it kind of nerd props for that, but all right, so let's go ahead and grade the movie. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 75. It was visually appealing. It was worth a watch, but at the same time, it had stilted dialogue, and it was way too convenient in its plot to actually be kind of an organic story. It was more of a formulaic story for me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. We're going to go ahead and move on to Lost Boys, which I've only seen once, and that was as soon as it hit the video rental market, I went ahead and rented it, but I haven't seen it since then, so I don't remember. I remember who's in it, but that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and watch that in just a few seconds. I'll be right back to let you guys know what I think about Lost Boys. All right, bye. Hey guys, I just got done watching Lost Boys, starring the two Corys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. Is that his name? I don't care. Man, he made Twister look like a fucking Citizen Kane. Oh my god, it was so horrible. It was horrible. How can you guys... How did this movie get such a fan base to it? That thing was a piece of poop. It was laughably bad. It was laughably bad. Anything from the dialogue was so over the top and pretentious, to the character design, to the set design, the place. Let's just start from the beginning. So here's the plot, as far as I can tell, because it's really it's pretty vague. It's pretty paper thin. We have Mom, who is currently going through a divorce, so she packs up her two sons and she's moving to like a seaside area, presumably somewhere in California, I'm thinking. And her family are settling in where the eldest boy gets mixed up with this. I just read the credits. They call them surf Nazis. I didn't see anything Naziistic about them. But they were like punks. They were not goth punks, but they were definitely punks. Leather wearing punks. They were just basically your over the top, a movie producer's idea of what a punk would look like in the 80s. So he falls in with this crowd, and he goes and they try to seduce him, and they keep on chanting over and over again, join us, be with us, you're one of us now. It's pretty early in the movie. It's established. We know that this gang is just a roving band of vampires, right? So they basically, he gets seduced by this girl in the group, and he drinks their blood, and he becomes a vampire, like a half vampire. And so the rest of the movie is the younger brother trying to save the older brother from becoming a full vampire by killing the lead vampire. The movie was shot more like a music video than it was an actual movie. There's a lot of like cut scenes to it. There wasn't any montages, but it might as well have been. I don't know why it wasn't. It was just a lot of slow motion shots. There was just not a lot of plot to get into. There wasn't anything great about the plot. It was very simplistic. And there was a lot of unbelievable situations going on in this movie. The characters were over the top. The dialogue was really poorly written, and they were and Corey Feldman, his line deliveries were just atrocious. They were awful, and I didn't believe one character in this movie. I didn't like any character in this movie. The mom was a doofus. The head vampire, when we finally find out who it was, which we knew from the from the opening scenes when we met this character, we knew he was a head vampire. When he turns all vampiristic, he looked silly. Just the fight scenes were bad. This movie was more tongue-in-cheek than it was serious. Maybe it's just because I don't like humor mixed in with my action, but it was not taking. This movie's not to be taken seriously. In fact, I don't even take it on the level of kind of like a horror / comedy, because there wasn't anything funny about it. This movie was not worth 1 minute that it was on the screen. It was not worth 1 minute. This movie was awful. I find nothing redeeming about this movie, and just out of respect to the people who do like it, I'm going to give it a 5%, but that is it. This movie was, it's not even watchable. It makes me angry. It's so bad. Guys, that's it. I watched two movies. Twister was actually watchable, and I enjoyed parts of that movie. It did suffer from stilted and kind of stiff dialogue. Some of the action sequences were kind of unbelievable, but at the same time, it did have good visuals to it. I did like some of the characters in that movie. Therefore, I went ahead and gave it a 75. But if you want to really press me on this and ask me about Lost Boys, Lost Boy was unwatchable, and it kind of brings up the rage in me. I hated that movie. I hated it. Couldn't stand 1 minute of it, and I'm so glad that I got to see it again, because now I can say, nope, that is a piece of shit. That is a total piece of shit, guys. I would not recommend watching that even on a dare. No. So, a good 5%. Unwatchable, not need to watch that movie. No, I don't even know why people had such a fan base to it. That's it, guys. That's my night at the movies. I'm gonna be back, but I know some of the theater around the corner from me is actually opening up, so I may go there a few times. But let's find out what's showing at the drive-in next time around. I'll be back shortly. And hopefully I'll have better movies to review. All right. But anyways, as always, I want to wish everybody peace. Montane, I'll talk to you guys later, and goodbye.